Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Victor and I help people navigate their spiritual awakening process. And every Friday I like to do a question and answer video where I answer as many of my subscribers' questions as possible that I get throughout the week. And I always leave the questions right down below in the description box. Someone asked me, they say, when I hear or read any information about the big awakening, both my husband and I feel very emotional and oftentimes cry. What's the deal with this? So this would happen to me a lot as well, especially when I was reading certain books. Like what did it a lot for me was the Dolores Cannon book. I always recommend The 3 Waves of Volunteers. It's very appropriate for almost all of you guys who are watching this right now. And when I would read this information, that was so mind-boggling, because this book talks about like the mass awakening, the fact that the planet is changing and upgrading into a brand new dimension where it'll be a lot better, a lot more divine and heavenly like. It's insane and like off the wall as that sounded, it would cause me to like well up with just incredible positive emotion, tears of joy, just as you described. And for me, that was just my body's, it was like a memory. It was like that was a memory seeing this information, because there's a part of me that already knew that, and it was like kind of remembering that for the first time. And it's very exciting, very blissful, very fulfilling, and just an amazing experience. It's just a confirmation for you, because your conscious memory, most of us can't recall what it was like on the other side prior to this lifetime, but our body, it's all there. And sometimes certain information and certain ways of saying certain things that happen to resonate with us very deeply penetrates us. It doesn't even, it kind of bypasses the need for the conscious mind to have a memory, and our physical body is just saying yes, yes, yes. Someone says, I've always just known things, but having validation helps me not feel crazy. But what validation can I get for this planetary ascension process? I would invite you to look at this question in 2 different ways. One of them is there's a ton of validation. You could even look at like the biblical prophecies about the end days and all the different, the hundreds of thousands of different perspectives on what we're experiencing now. You can see evidence to most of them right now. Just look around the world, turn on the news, look around. It's everywhere, man. Can't you feel it? I mean, do you experience synchronicity? What is synchronicity? Did you know what that was 20 years ago? I didn't, and I experienced it hundreds of maybe thousands of times every single day. That's the magic. That is like magical to my former self, but it's become normal to me. So there's a million signs, man. At the same time, I would say, who needs validation? Your need for a mental validation is just going to, I would question why you would feel the need to have any validation. Rather, just be in the moment. Just enjoy your life. Your mind is always going to desire a sense of safety. So what you're kind of asking is, what kind of validation can I get to provide my mind with a sense of, okay, that's the truth. But that desire for that safety is an ongoing thing. You'll always find something to need to feel safe about and validated about. So I would examine that as well. Somebody asks, sorry to bother you once again. We had a terrorist attack in my city, Nice, yesterday, and I had this gut feeling 2 days ago that something similar was going to happen on this precise day. How can you manage this? Well, I would say a lot of sensitive people are able to have like intuitive guidance and nudges and signs that sometimes do forewarn you about a big thing, a big splash in the collective. And that's kind of what that was you just described, and you just felt it, you tapped into it. So it's not about managing it, it's about accepting it and not looking at it as a bad thing. If you're wondering like, how can I know when I'm in danger, even though I read it differently than you wrote it, that's the sense I got from your thing. Like, how do I use this to know when I'm in danger and discern this from my own fearful ego? And that just takes practice, man. It's like a lot of things. Sometimes the ego can be very clever and seem like it's your intuition, But intuition is usually never fear-based. If you were to if you're, say your higher self wanted to warn you about an upcoming thing, it usually, in my experience and from people I've talked to, doesn't use fearful messages like you better get out of here now. It's more like, hey, how about you go take a left here because there's a gorgeous tree you want to take on this road, and you know right now it's fall and the leaves are changing. Let's go check this out. And you go, and then this other route that you normally take, something bad happen. It's usually much more, it doesn't like to use fear as a motivator. That's your ego. That's one way to discern your ego from your higher guidance, is fear is almost never involved in when it's coming from your higher self. She also asked about, she has a lot of energy in her hands. Other people have been saying that too. That's nothing to worry about, man. It's not hurting you. You know, you're gonna get a lot of sensations where there's a lot of energy coming into the planet. This energy is affecting our body. We're becoming more aware of our subtle energies within our body. It's not about like, what about, why is it in my hands? Why is it in my feet? Why is it in my chest? So what? I would say, don't worry about these little tangent things, man. So what? Hey, Victor, what do you think of crystals and the black obsidian? Or like the black obsidian, it's a type of crystal. Do they really work like people say? Yeah, anything can work, man. These are all just permission slips. These are all just things that are in existence in our realm that for some people it clicks with their belief systems. If you believe crystals work, then they work. If you think it's a bunch of hogwash and bullshit, then they're not going to do anything for you. I personally can feel energy that emanates off crystals. When I was going through like the rigors of my awakening many years back, I was more into crystals. I got kyanite, I believe. There's at least for me, I went to like this person in Sedona, Arizona, real like a spiritual type of place, and this lady recommended kyanite for me as a way of balancing my chakras. And I got this cool kyanite necklace and this big kyanite crystal, and I would keep it near me, and I liked it. It wasn't like a game changer for me, but it seemed pleasant, you know. So I would just use your own experience. Try them. If you feel a positive effect from them, then who cares if I or anyone or science says they either work or they don't work? Who cares? But the placebo effect is real. What matters is your experience. Validate your own experience with them. The quickest way to find this out is to go into a store that sells crystals and see what happens. Someone asked me, how can I get my younger kids involved in this ascension process? I'm trying to they want like creative ways to kind of explain it to them, to bring them up to speed. And this, of course, is coming from a place of concern. Like, you know, most people, you're coming into an understanding, like you understand the gravity of what's happening on the planet. It's a very big and serious thing. And of course, it's only natural you want your kids to kind of come with you, to ascend, to make it. And here's the thing, guys, none of you have to worry about your kids. Your kids are a shoo-in. All this stuff comes naturally. It's not about explaining anything to them. They don't need to know any of this information. They have the aura, the energy, the sufficient energy. They're gonna have an effortless transition. You should worry more about yourself. How can you become balanced? And anyway, the best way to influence your children is to be an awesome example, to continue working on yourself and becoming the best, strongest version of yourself, because your kids learn far more from the example you set, the state of being you primarily embody versus what you tell them. If it's exciting to you to teach them meditation, great. I teach my kids sometimes, we do like these deep breaths, and I'll be like, you know, sometimes I'll watch this guy, Infinite Waters, and he's always like, he's always saying something funny like, can I get a hello there? And me and my kids do it. It's fun. It kind of tunes us into the energy. I would just keep it fun, man. Don't take it too seriously. Your kids are fine. Victor, do you know anything about sungazing? A little bit. I've done it before. I did it many years ago when I was living in Florida. I followed the protocol where I forgot it exactly, but you're barefoot and you stare into the sun, just straight up stare at it for like, starting with like, I think 10 seconds. And you have to do it, of course, at a time when the sun is very low or very high, or, you know, basically about to go down or come up within that hour window. And you build up your time. And the idea is that it kind of gives you energy. It's good for you. It opens your chakras, etc. And I did feel an energetic effect from it. Certainly, I definitely felt like it really like opened my third eye a lot. But I felt eventually felt like it was bad for my eyes. You know, some people say, oh no, it's fine. But again, I always validate my own experience. So even if a book's saying this is totally fine, it started kind of being weird on my vision, honestly. In the beginning, it wasn't a big deal. But after I was doing it for a little bit longer, I found that for like an hour after, everything was yellow. You know, my vision became kind of like pierced. That's my own subjective experience. You can go ahead and try it. I don't believe you need anything. And the things that really work for you, you'll just be naturally excited and drawn to, and then pursue that. But the most important thing is to follow what feels right. Not about what others are saying, works or doesn't work. It's just you got to go with your own flow. Hey Vic, what is your opinion on all of the channelings from the Ascended Masters on YouTube? Are they all to be trusted? I wouldn't trust all of them, no. Channeling's a relatively new thing that there's degrees of skill at it. And you can tell by how clear they come out, how like profound the messages seem. What you see a lot is a blending, and you see it with me. Sometimes what comes through in my videos is very clear, very pure. Sometimes my ego kind of like is slightly influencing it, I admit. And that's what I'm doing is essentially channeling. And that's what you see. I don't call it channeling. If I close my eyes and spun around, I could make it seem like I was channeling. I could kind of add in the little like channeling lingo, you know, and whatnot. But it's really about what resonates with you. Does the message resonate with you and make you feel naturally uplifted? In that case, it's to be trusted. It's a positive influence on your life. So whether it's right or wrong, who cares? If it's going to help you live a better life, help you step more fully into your truest self, then it's perfect for you. Whether the channeler kind of sucks or he's like awesome. Is it dangerous to open your third eye? If you believe it is, yes. I get a lot of messages from people with very fearful ideas about Kundalini, about the third eye, about your chakras, about you gotta be ready for it. It can be too powerful, it can drive you crazy. And anything can be dangerous. You could ask me the same question, hey Victor, is it dangerous to go outside of my house on Tuesday at 10 in the morning? Could be. If you get shot up by a drive-by shooting or a plane crashed into your front yard, yeah, that's possible, is it not? Is it likely? No, it's rare that people have seriously bad experiences with the chakras and their Kundalini and the third eye. Is it possible? Yes, because they're powerful forces. They're not to be taken with a very, what's the word? Like cocky and overzealous and like non-humble sort of way. You gotta kind of respect the power of them, respect the power of raising your Kundalini to pry open your third eye, opening yourself up. Yeah, that's serious business. But is it something to truly worry about? Are you really gonna be opening yourself up to the demons and whatnot? Again, if you really harbor a lot of like paranoid, superstitious, fearful beliefs and really believe them, then yeah, you could very well create that experience. But that experience is just an illusion and a product of your own fearful beliefs. And if anything, that experience, that horrible experience, might be a helpful catalyst in helping you examine why you have so many paranoid ass beliefs and thoughts. They don't obviously work for you. I open my third eye, I experience only cool stuff. I experience all the stuff I talk about. I teach a third eye course for free. You can sign up right now. It's a 3-day course and it helps you open your third eye. It's not that hard to do. But if you're, again, it just depends upon where you're coming from, dude. Anything can be scary and bad or not. Everything is neutral. You are the one that imbues it with meaning. Take ownership of that. Take ownership of your role in the experience you create. And then, of course, create the experiences that you prefer. Would it be cool to open your third eye and experience awesome psychic abilities and help you navigate your life from a higher state of consciousness? Yeah, believe that. That's possible too. That's more likely. If you wanna get picked on by astral demons, then that's your choice to do so. but it's your choice. So somebody says that they watched my 5 signs you're an indigo video and they resonate with it and they feel like they may in fact be an indigo, and they asked if I could just tell them more about it for the purpose of helping them overcome the big obstacles in their life. Quite frankly, I make those videos as a means of, because people really like them, and it's a way for me to call out to the people who I believe will resonate with my channel using terminology that they look up. I could phrase it my own way, saying, you know, and have my own like personal definitions of it, but no one would ever find the video and then it wouldn't be helping anybody. So I use terms like indigo and light worker and ascension, only because, again, they draw in the kind of people I'm hoping to help with my message. I would say, who cares? You're not gonna find any solace in the identity or the identification of being an indigo or a light worker or an ascended master or whatever. Those are just words that, again, we just have made up to describe people and traits that people have. I would say that it is not wise to aim to help yourself overcome obstacles with a particular sense of identity of any kind. But indigos typically, generally, are very rebellious souls. They like to create change. They're very intelligent and intuitive and articulate people. They have come in to change stuff, to break down old structures. They're very, again, rebellious, tough, and they just have the attitude. They're the kind of people that have the balls to be pioneers and to start stuff that everyone thinks is crazy, but ends up in the end thinking that, wow, that was a pretty good idea. That's like an indigo. And what could help you is to embrace that. If you have that, a lot of indigos have that, and they also have a lot of fears and anxiety and insecurity because of their upbringing, and they're always hesitating and questioning themselves. I would say for you, if you resonate with the idea of being an indigo, ignore all that crap and do what your heart is longing to have you do. Someone says, I'm constantly being told I had to focus my talents to gain higher skills in one area, but they feel drawn to several different things, and they don't like the idea of being constricted. I had the same exact issue, dude, because I wanted to earn a living online. And everyone says, if you look into this, you gotta pick a niche. You gotta pick something very specific, one thing to be really good at. You really can't be a jack of all trades, because if I'm looking up baseball, or a bad example, if I'm looking up like how to weave baskets, I'm not gonna go to the guy who tells you how to weave baskets and also really likes baseball and he talks about TV show reviews. I want to go to the basket weaving dude who spent his whole life weaving baskets and he's the expert. So in that sense, it's wise to pick something, but usually within that niche, within that expertise, you can bring to the table all your skills. So I ended up doing both. I still pursue all my different passions and whatnot, but I funnel them in to something that I feel a strong resonance with, my purpose, my singular thing, which is just helping people navigate their awakening. Fortunately for me, it's a pretty broad process, which allows a lot of my other skills like diet and kundalini yoga and other things to kind of be of existence, even my addiction background. I would say do both. Most people really do have something they're meant to do. And most people don't agree with that because they've yet to find it. I was one of those people. I would keep searching, at the same time, pursue whatever passions you want. I found that when I would like force something that was in the wrong direction, like I was gonna just focus only on fitness for a while. I'm gonna be the fitness guy. So I could do that. I do a lot about fitness. I don't talk about it much, but I do. I spend my whole life obsessively studying fitness. But that wasn't really my purpose. That really was not what I was put here to do. So I'd run into all these blocks, and like you felt constricted, but not because I was focusing on one thing, but because I was focusing on the wrong thing. So keep searching, keep experimenting, keep studying. You'll know that one thing when you find it. That's it, guys. I hope you like my new setting, man. I am so stoked about it. I thank the person who recommended to be barefoot, because I've been barefoot ever since, and it feels great. I feel like I'm gonna have much more beautiful videos, but even I feel like I'm gonna bring much more positive energy through into this YouTube channel from this beautiful place that I've discovered just a short walk from my house. I've been talking about it a lot, but it's a cemetery actually. And it was a real lesson for me, because again, so many times our minds, due to their beliefs, close off possibilities for enjoyment and awesomeness that are just right under your nose. But of course, I had the label, it's a cemetery. It's weird, I had these unconscious labels. It's weird. What are people gonna think if I'm hanging out in the cemetery all day? Is it disrespectful? Is the energy kind of weird, a bunch of dead bodies everywhere? No, it's amazing. You think spirits hang out by their gravesite all day? No, I knew that, but again, it was like an unconscious belief. No one bothers me. I'll just tell them I just visited my grandmother if they bug me. Again, I was able to like reevaluate all my silly little childish beliefs, and as I did that, voila. I've been craving nature so much because I live like right near downtown, and here we go, here I am. So I hope you guys enjoy this. I won't go on any further about my infatuation with this gravesite, graveyard near my house. I wish you guys all the best. Sorry if I can't, nowadays I just cannot get to everyone's question, unfortunately. I do my best. Peace.